弟できる誰でもスキルを稼げるガバナンスまである中集権のメディアはもう終わりだ
真相から立ち上るインクと真実がぶつかるレバヤさんニュース開かれ海嘘はない読んで書いて氷結しろ力はみんなのものイカスミをたたえろニュースは君のものだレバヤさんニュースレバヤさんニュース
Hello everyone, what's up? Leviathan News, the advisor here. It's February 12th and nice to have you guys on. Hope you're doing well and you're having a good day, evening, afternoon, whatever it is. And I'm actually very excited to have on for the second time, I'm pretty sure, at least for myself, as an interview we had one long ago, Korn from Yearn. Everyone's favorite business development person in the space. We've actually met also when I think about it a few months ago. Argentina, Buenos Aires was a lot of fun. Thank you for hosting a great event there, by the way, with Volts FYI and you guys. It was actually a lot of fun. And man, thank you for joining. What's up?
Yeah, thank you for having me. That was a cool venue down there in Buenos Aires. That was fun. And I forgot what a high energy intro that was for Leviathan. I like that.
Yeah, that's an amazing intro that's done by Arcus, another llama. He actually is the one that made... he just did a video of 4 minutes for resupply, and he did one a few, a month ago or so for RAC, for Regnumorum. And then I approached him and I told him, man, maybe you can do some stuff for Leviathan, blah, blah, blah. But we don't have any resources to pay you for it. So maybe you just play along with our contributions game. And he actually did. And that's actually a good reminder for people to go and vote for it. Let me pop it up on screen for a minute, if you don't mind, Korn, before we get into all
go for it.
Yearn stuff that I want to talk to you about, obviously. Okay, looks like the stream is also generated on X as well. Already good. You know what? Guys, please give the video a like, a thumbs up, what's up, whatever. And let me just show you guys as we start. I have an easier way to find it. Just a second. Right now, the snapshot vote is on. This means that at SQUID DAO, every month we have monthly emissions, and we vote with our SQUID on how to distribute the monthly rewards according to participation. And we actually have one upcoming right now. Why is it like this? It's not showing yet. Let me share the screen here. While you guys are waiting for me, please give the video a like. Please go follow myself, Leviathan News, and of course, Korn and Yearn. I'm pretty sure you can find them on X. Okay, it's on screen now. And you can see that we have the February SQUID drop covering January, already 9 voters, and you can basically vote for the different stuff. And one of the things you can vote for is for Arcus video. So definitely if you're voting for SQUID, consider voting for Arcos for that amazing intro video that he's done for us. We really want to encourage new contributors to participate, especially with such original stuff. Shout out Arcos, thank you very much, sir, for it. And if you've already voted and haven't voted for him, just vote again, guys. It's very simple.
Was the resupply video the one that had all of the like old DeFi characters and that one?
It was the one like with all the hippos and motorcycles. Did you see it?
Oh, okay. No, I didn't see that one.
A few days came out. Maybe he has another one that I don't even know about.
There were a bunch of resupply videos that have come out over the past like 3 or 4 months. I thought it was one that I remembered pretty well. I'll take a look at the one that came out a few days ago.
If you guys are doing a video for Yearn, you should definitely talk to him. One more thing I want to do before we get into the Yearn business is to present our SQUID Pass holders for this month, for this week, sorry. And it's actually Oak Research. Let me pop up the link again. If you go either to our website at leviathannews.tv, or if you go to either our Telegram group or our, what's it called? X account, you can see the pinned post, which actually the winner of each SQUID Pass gets the slot for a week. This week, it's none other than Oak Research. You have to scroll, if it's on the website itself, to see the SQUID Pass winner. And then when you go to the article itself, you can see Oak Research. Shout out to you guys. Thank you very much for choosing Leviathan News for the pinned post. And what they actually chose to share is their report about crypto in 2026, the year of change. A very elaborated article over there. You can even get the physical edition of it at $69.90 US delivered to you. A lot of interesting characters over there. Amazing work by Oak Research. And guys, thank you so much for honoring us at Leviathan News and choosing to share it with our audience and to bid for it and win this week's auction. So shout out to you guys. Check out Oak Research at oak_research_en. And all right. It was great. And corn, let's get into the main dish, like not corn, hopefully. I'm not into eating corn at least not today. But, you know, I actually sent you a message because there's so much stuff going on with Yearn the past few months. It's definitely one of the DeFi entities that I follow the most. Both because of the OG status and angle, I guess, and a lot because of just my own personal interest, whether it's some of the products themselves or some of the people involved. And I really think that Yearn is an incredible example for a DAO that actually exists, and actually functions as a DAO. Which the more I'm in the space, it becomes clear that it's a rare thing. Not many can actually claim that description. So shout out to you guys as well. And I want us to start with an intro, first of all, for those who aren't maybe familiar with Yearn. So maybe tell us the Yearn story in a nutshell. When was Yearn established? What is it? What did it start as, and what is it today? And then I'll start asking you about recent developments and products and stuff like that.
So back at the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020 is when all of these DeFi primitives and the first DeFi projects started to show up, like MakerDAO and Aave and Compound and Uniswap. And this guy, Andre Cronje, he wanted to make these products easy to use because at the time they were not. They had unfamiliar interfaces. They had multi-step processes to get anything done at all. And you had to always have your eye on what was going on all the time. So he made this idea called Yearn, and the whole concept of it was to make DeFi strategies, to make these products consumable for anybody, where all of the management, all of the security was taken care of, and all you had to do was deposit your money and then you get yield. That was the whole idea for Yearn. That's how it started. Andre left the project. He handed over the keys to SQUID Token, to the Yearn DAO, around February of 2020. That's when all of that happened.
Cool.
So a long time ago.
You've been there ever since?
I actually joined Yearn toward the end of 2021. So in 2019 and 2020, I was still working in the data center, like the IT industry. I worked for the largest Cisco networks partner in the world for 10 years, building networks and data centers for hospitals. So that's what I was doing at the time.
So what was your first, what was the first thing you've done at Yearn? Or is it the same all along for you personally at Yearn?
I was brought on for Yearn as BD, as business development, as someone who could oversee all of the partnerships and all of the ecosystem integrations, all of that. Because at the time, and still it's true today, over 80% of Yearn deposits are B2B. They come in through partner protocols. Back then, it was Alchemix and it was Abracadabra. Those were our two best partners and combined over $3 billion of deposits back then. We were sharing 50% of the profits back to them. They were getting paid millions of dollars for building on top of Yearn. So that's how this business started.
Very cool. So you're actually at Yearn for like 6 years now? 6 years?
Almost 5 years, coming up on 5 years.
Man, it actually makes a lot of sense, like knowing you and like interacting with you throughout the years a bit. Like you're definitely one of the most, I don't know exactly the word for it, like maybe diligent business development people in the space. Like that's why actually I chose that title for this one today as well. I think it's a good metaphor. Like you're always doing something. You're always talking to people. And for me, as someone, you can also look at it from the Leviathan news angle. I'm also like, I was always thinking to myself, like, what is this guy doing? Like, what are they actually doing all the time? And just an example, you know, I've started working with Frankencoin a few months ago. Okay, and with Johannes, also after an interview here, actually. In like January 2025. And a few months later, like in August or something like that, he asked me if I want to come work with them, and I have. And, you know, only after I've joined and I've started like being on these Telegram groups and whatever, I've started to get some sense of like, what does he actually do? And how does his day actually look? And man, I was like, how does he do it? You know, because like so much of the work is the work that we don't see as just like, you know, I don't know, enthusiasts of the space, media people of the space, whatever. We don't really see what's happening in all these like behind the scenes groups or talks that's being done. And even getting a glimpse of it is quite remarkable, actually. Like, can you share a bit about that? Like, what does it actually mean? Like, how important is it for the industry or for a project to actually do this kind of stuff in order to succeed? Because I'm starting to think it's like close to like 99% of the chances to succeed is if you're good at that department or not.
I would love to answer that question. And like, first of all, there's a lot of BD that's different at Yearn, because we're a DAO, compared to other organizations that are like founder-led BD. Andre hasn't been at Yearn. I never got to like cross over with Andre. I never worked with the Yearn founder. Banteg is still around. He is off doing his own AI projects. He helps us on the back end of things, but never in like a BD capacity. So that really falls on me as my responsibility. So primarily what I do is I go out and qualify opportunities. What I mean by that is there's an endless stream of people who are always looking to Yearn for us to build strategies for them and to go and take the like YV USDC vault and allocate funds from Yearn into their protocol to get yield. I have to figure out, I have to be like the first line of defense. Like, is it worth it for me to bring this opportunity to the strategist team? Because they're really busy building. They're really busy like evaluating and making sure things are operating properly and that we're being safe. They have a finite amount of time. And if I were to get them on every single call, like they would never get anything done. So for that reason, I actually just brought on another person who I see as like a sales engineer. He goes by the name engineer, and he and I actually started Y Audit 3 years ago, Yearn's audit company. It's attached to Yearn. And he and I back then, we worked so well together. We brought down like so many good deals in 2023 and 2024 that when I had the opportunity to bring him into Yearn, like I did it immediately. He is getting up to speed super fast. He can help me answer questions and like qualify these opportunities faster than ever. He can help me build out everything that we need for our partner program to be successful. And he loves public speaking. So if there's anybody who like wants engineer to speak at their conference or to be on panels, he loves it. He loves the camera. So you got to book him. And he's like an excellent security engineer. He's like also has a 2000 ELO chess rating. I got really lucky to like have him work with me at Yearn.
I actually met him in Buenos Aires as well. It's really, it's also funny, like, you know, the name engineer and all that.
Yeah.
To go by.
He'll be at ETHCC. He'll be at Con. He'll be giving like 3 or 4 talks. So.
Oh wow! About Yearn, like Yearn talks.
About Yearn security, all of that. Yep.
Like up till now, it was only you that was doing all these talks.
Yeah, it is. We used to have other people, like back in 2021, who would go to conferences and do talks, but those people aren't here anymore, so it's all fallen on me.
Are you going to Denver as well? By the way, I'm pretty sure it's starting now. No.
So I'll be in Denver next week. We're throwing a big dodgeball tournament that we're sponsoring, along with a few other DeFi projects on Friday. I think.
Explain to me one unrelated thing, but
what's dodgeball?
Maybe. What's dodgeball? Yeah, exactly. I hear it say ever since I was like 5 years old that I'm watching like American content, but I have no idea what does it mean.
Yeah, there's this sport where there's 2 teams. You start on either sides of a square, and there's a line of balls in the middle. And you, at the whistle, you run into the middle, you grab the ball, and you have to hit people on the other team. If you hit them, the ball drops to the floor, they're out. And if you eliminate the entire team, you win. You can catch, if someone throws the ball and they catch it, you're out. So there are some like gotchas and some rules in there.
Okay, now I understand. It's actually, we also have this kind of a game with a completely different name, with the most unrelated name possible. Okay. Dodgeball makes a lot more sense because you need to like dodge the ball.
I played in the Uni Cup in Argentina. I played on the Morpho team. We finished 8th place out of 32 teams, which is pretty good.
Which you mean dodgeball as well, or was it like soccer?
Soccer.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought.
And I loved that event, and I feel like having an athletic event at these conferences is such a nice break, like such a nice change of pace from standing around these like loud rooms yelling at each other. I love the camaraderie that comes from team sports.
Like the amount of beers in a few like in this conferences tour, like yeah.
It's too much. I agree. But it's good to do something athletic and get the blood flowing and be in a different kind of environment. So I'm all for it, and I wanted to sponsor it immediately.
By the way, you're actually like a cyclist or something like that, no? Like
yeah, I'm actually I'm just retaping my tires or my wheels right now for the season coming up.
That's so cool.
I can't ride outside right now because of the snow, but can't wait for the spring to come.
I haven't even thought about it. I haven't even thought about that angle. So yeah, you ride like daily, basically, when you can?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've been doing over 5,000 miles a year since like 2016, so almost 10 years now.
Wow. And like mostly like wherever, or do you go like on like trips, tours, traveling the world, mountains? Because cyclists, I have like this someone that I know that's got into like cycling and this like cycling group a while back.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about anything anymore. You know what I mean? He just wants to go on these tours and to mountains, wherever, Europe, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like somehow it just does that to people. Like last year at Denver, I actually rented a road bike locally, and then I drove up to Boulder and I rode around the mountains there, and I just had to do it. It was absolutely beautiful. By the way, like I know a lot of people have moved to Boulder in the past like 20 years. There's a reason why, because like there's really no place like it, especially for cycling. Like the mountain roads up there, it's just absolute perfect. It's great. Paradise.
Really? That's very cool, actually.
You can go from Boulder. There's this one road, Left-Hand Canyon Road. You can follow that all the way up to Brainerd Lake, and it's over 5,000 vertical feet of climbing. So higher than like Mount Lemmon in Tucson, Arizona. Like it's you can get like into the tens of thousands of feet of elevation on your ride easily up there.
How is that even possible, though, to ride?
It's very possible. Like if you look at like a Grand Tour ride, they'll do 160 miles and like 15,000 vertical feet of climbing, and they'll do that like day after day. They can do that 21 days in a row if they wanted to. There's one race at the end of the cycling season called the World Championship, and that is a particularly long race. It's only one day. It's always over 200 miles, and it's always like close to 20,000 vertical feet of climbing.
Wow.
Those people are just, they're incredible athletes. You know, they spend most of the year, their diet is probably just like red blood cells. It's like they're on another level.
Man, that's actually cool. Okay, let's get into a bit of Yearn stuff, because actually I want to ask too many cycling.
I know. I could talk about this forever.
No, I actually want to ask you too much cycling question now myself, and dodgeball and like mountain culture in general. But I do want to give the audience and myself a taste of what's going up with Yearn. Let's actually start with the structure. I've seen that there was this triple proposal, or three-layer three steps proposal a while back. I'm not sure at all about the numbers. Maybe it was YIP 88.
That was it.
Okay, good. Can you? And I actually think that this was a very important this wasn't like a regular proposal of like I don't know budget request for monthly whatever blah blah blah. It seemed like it was kind of a restructuring of Yearn DAO, and like an attempt to really position the whole thing in like a reorganized way, which will be much better for everyone. Now, I haven't read the whole thing myself. I've just read some specific parts, mostly the third one, that was actually interested in myself, because I saw that it was about like how contributors are going to be rewarded and that kind of stuff. And I really thought that okay, I actually want to know about this kind of stuff for myself anyway, and maybe we can apply a lot of stuff at Leviathan News there, and I really want to maybe check out what Yearn is doing. We also have Johnny involved now, which always told us that like on many stuff, we should consider adapting to the Yearn route rather than doing stuff in the complete chaos that we used to do it. So maybe share a bit about what was the situation like there, or this proposal. What was it aims? What did it aim to solve? How does it do it? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can explain it all. So originally, SQUID token was just a valueless governance token. Like that's how it launched. People farmed the SQUID token. And back then, there were a lot of people farming it. There was a lot of alignment of incentives around the SQUID token. Similarly to how you see other vault products coming to market right now, they have a token, they have points, they have an airdrop. People who are depositing into those products want that token. They want that token price to go up, to have value. So back then, Yearn SQUID token got up to $2.8 billion market cap. And the reason for that is just because people were buying it, because they were depositing into Yearn vaults. They had those aligned incentives. SQUID token right now, by the way, is still available at Coinbase and Kraken and Binance and Revolut and like OKX, every other major centralized exchange there is. The second evolution of SQUID token was VYFI. And the idea behind VYFI was to market buy, so buy SQUID off the market using a portion of Yearn profits. It was an undefined portion of Yearn profits, so it was adjusted however like we saw fit, however the health of the market was at the time and the health of Yearn profits were at the time. So fast forward to today, or to like the end of 2025, Yearn, we have about $18 million of stables and ETH and various like liquidity positions in the treasury. And then we have additionally like more SQUID token in the treasury. We made about $5.5 million of profit, which is a lot less than the $100 million of profit that we made in 2021. But, you know, we're still profitable and able to keep the lights on and to employ like more than 17 people full time. But we need to do more for SQUID token, and we need to have it be like programmatic or like defined and predictable. So here's what we did. We're now taking 90% of all of the profits. So say that $5.5 million that we made last year, and it's going to just be distributed to people who stake the SQUID token. Like that's it. You can stake it. You don't have to stake it for 4 years this time. Originally, VYFI had a 4-year lockup. That's like not what the market wants right now. So all there is like a quick lockup, and then there's a cooldown. If you unlock, it's a 1-month waiting period, and that's it. So we hope that this is a much more simple way of like thinking about the SQUID token. We think that the yield for it in the beginning is going to be pretty high. What this does do is kind of like draw a line in the sand for Yearn contributors to be always focused on growing profitably, growing TVL profitably. There was no reason for us to take like revenue deals or like deals that just bring in TVL where we're not going to be profitable. That doesn't align with our model. It doesn't align with us taking in money, taking on risk and not showing profits for it. So the next phase of Yearn is all focused on profitable integrations and meaningful integrations. And hopefully that is all going to be reflected in the market for SQUID token.
That's actually very cool. So, so the new version actually means that people like the basic amount of like the total amount of SQUID stays the same.
Yeah, it's 36,666. We're not minting anymore.
And like, can you maybe tell us a bit about how it's currently distributed? The total amount, like roughly speaking, I mean?
So this is a fun one because whenever you talk to like CoinGecko or exchanges or like some liquid funds, they always ask me like, how's the Wi-Fi distribution? This token has been live for 6 years now. If you go to Etherscan and you look up the Wi-Fi token, the number one holder is Binance. The number two holder is Coinbase. Like these centralized exchanges are where this token lives today. So we don't really know like who has what. There's no like bag of Wi-Fi that's sitting there that we can like really put our finger on. Like this person owns that. It's so well distributed at this point that it's just what the market decides.
And actually, like from like a post of you a few days ago, you guys are actually in a position that, again, I don't think that many projects can say that. Like you have very meaningful revenue. And I'm choosing the word meaningful just to like be politically correct because like the way like you have incredible revenue. Like I think you've mentioned something like $5 million a year, meaning again, not only is there an actual product that the DAO has created, this product is working, like, and people are using it. And like you actually said, it's more of a B2B business, meaning that you guys are kind of a tool that the whole industry is building upon. And you already have the rails, not only the infrastructural and like technical rails, but also the like the connections, the like the people who build and like and how to attract this kind of a talent, which is often like a neglected thought about this kind of stuff. And now it's all actually going to be distributed to holders.
Yeah, we are a few years ahead of where a lot of projects are today. Like there are a lot of projects today who don't have a fee switch turned on. They've yet to do that. They are still printing a token to provide incentives to get TVL in the door. Yearn hasn't done that for 4 years now. So everything that you see, all of the profits that we're taking, like come from a real business, come from people seeing the value of consuming Yearn strategies. So Yearn Vaults V3, when we came to market with it, it's completely open. You don't have to have fees turned on if you're building on top of it. If you're deploying stuff from the Yearn factory, you can just leave the fees to zero. And we've seen a lot of projects find value in the stack and build on top of it with fees at zero. And we're totally okay with that. We're okay with the validation that we have almost $1 billion of TVL in the Yearn V3 stack right now, but only $400 million of it is generating profits for us through our own strategies that we're operating. We think, at least in 2026, that we're going to make a big push for why operating these strategies in-house is so important to us. And it comes from our monitoring and alerting systems that we have, our allocation engine that we have on the back end that like really has been using AI to go and reassess where we should be putting money at all times. Like every hour it goes and reevaluates where the best opportunities are for us, and it will move that money around automatically based on the guardrails that we have set in place. There are a lot of other updates that we have to do too, because not every source of yield is 4626 compliant. Yearn actually co-authored the 4626 standard. Doggy is mentioned on that. He is the author of Yearn V2, and he helped write that standard. For the sources of yield that are not 4626 compliant that we have to build adapters for, like say for Aave, for instance, they update that code all the time. We have to push like 10 plus updates per year to make sure that what we're doing is compatible with the technology that they're putting out. That's the value of Yearn that people like tend not to see.
Meaning actually that because like when a project chooses to build on Yearn, a lot of this kind of stuff is actually already being taken care of by you guys. And otherwise, if they had chosen to do it like all in-house, which technically they can, They
Yeah, they
would
can.
constantly have to like do all this kind of stuff themselves, other than like just getting it as like a provided service by the Yearn umbrella.
Exactly. And so I think there are teams who can manage this stuff on their own. Like the CAP team, for instance, they've been around for a long time. Like what they did is they deployed Yearn v3 from the factory, but they're operating their own strategies. They have the pedigree to do that, but there are teams who don't. And they should be consuming Yearn strategies if they're going to be deploying from the Yearn v3 factory and using our technology.
Shout out to Cap, by the way. Definitely another one of my favorite. Two of the people that I know there, like Benjamin and DeFi Dave, really like some of my favorite people in the space. I think Benjamin is one of the most amazing guests to have always. Like
he's a great public speaker too. I've seen him be on like a number of panels. He's very good.
He's extremely articulated, extremely sharp.
That's founder-led BD right there.
Yeah? Yeah, true. Yeah, I actually think he's one of the people I'm most bullish on. Like he is one of the best example of this archetype of a builder that I see, like young, driven, highly capable, does not look sideways. I think that he incorporates like a lot of these traits that I definitely see like made for success. You know, if there was like a list of 30 under 30 in the DeFi space and stuff like that, he's definitely one of the leading characters I'd put over there. You know, Cohen, I want to maybe use this opportunity to get like this pitch directly from you, because you probably do it like, I don't know, 10 times a day, maybe, probably, but I will want you to do another one here for our audience. Like, what's, like, when you, for example, let's say you spot this new opportunity, okay, about some kind of a project that from your reason, maybe we can later get on to what makes like a project interesting in your mind and can make you curious about onboarding and convincing to use Yearn tech. What's the actual pitch? Like, how do you come to a project that maybe isn't familiar with Yearn and doesn't know, like, doesn't see it as the OG that a lot of people in the space that are familiar already do? And like, how do you pitch it? How do you convince them that they should choose Yearn, other than what you've mentioned, like, for example, that a lot of the stuff is going to be taken care of automatically? Like, what other things differentiate Yearn? What makes it the best infrastructure to build vaults upon?
So first of all, typically, and I know this is like hard to believe maybe at this point, 6 years later, but almost every person that I talk to says that they farmed SQUID and that they're a fan of Yearn. It like happens over and over and over. And I do love that. So keep those comments coming. Here's a good example though. There's a new CDP coming to Katana chain. It's called Yearn. And the second that I found out about it, I was thinking to myself, like, oh, that's a good idea because there's no CDP on Katana chain right now. And basically what a CDP is you take like a yield bearing collateral and you stake it or like you deposit it and you get this leverage position that's a stable coin. Like you get more of that stable coin. So the pitch for me, like cold approaching this partner was, hey, you know, we used to have yield Yearn bearing collateral in a CDP in MIM, abracadabra, back in 2021. They had $1.5 billion of deposits with us. This was the main use case for Yearn yield bearing vaults back then. We have this partner program. We will share 50% of those fees with you guys. We will take care of all of the hard work in the back end. We'll do co-marketing together, do this integration with us. We will do all the heavy lifting and you will get paid for it. And that is the pitch. They have a lot of trust in us because we've done this. We've done this at scale before, and they know that if they work with us, they have a shot at getting back to those levels and doing it again. So I'm excited to have that product come to market.
What is it called again?
It's called Yari. It's on Katana chain.
Yari?
Yeah, Yari. Yep. So that's the whole pitch. Another like newer pitch that we have is for our curation team. So we're doing curation on Morpho and Morpho V2. We've been doing it for almost a year now. We've got like $180 million in that line of business. The reason why we started doing it on Morpho is because we still have the option to have those like Yearn parent level vaults. So like YV USDC can allocate to Aave, to Compound, to Morpho. It can deposit into different Morpho curated vaults. So it can deposit into the Yearn curated vaults. It can deposit into the Gauntlet ones, the Steakhouse ones. Having that multi-strategy parent level vault gives us a lot of flexibility. And we also wanted to tap into the distribution network that Morpho has because it's a good one and we want to be there. So that's the reason we spun up that business also. And it's been relatively profitable for us. I think overall in the curation space in 2025, it was $14 million in profits split up between every single curator on every single platform. So I'm going to guess that like at least probably over 30% of that went to Steakhouse, like another 30% went to Gauntlet. And then the rest of that was split up between like the rest of us, like Edge, like Yearn. I'm trying to think of other curators right now. There are a lot of them out there. We haven't really reached scale for the curation business yet. And I'm not quite sure why, but I have a feeling it's because people are like institutions, big capital allocators. They might be experimenting with curation, but they don't really want to give any opportunities away. They don't want to have any leakage of fees or control. And some of these code bases are very simple and can be replicated. And they're not in a rush to get to market on a brand new DeFi stack and like put their reputation at risk. So I think we'll see that space evolve over the next few years. But it's going to take a little while longer for it to like really become mainstream. They are onboarding some institutional explorers, like some custodians and like Bitwise and stuff, which is, it's good to see. I've personally been spending a lot of time talking to institutions, and I have to say that a lot of the people who are exploring that technology on the TradFi side of the fence are new to DeFi. They don't know who Yearn is. They don't know how all this industry started. They don't know the difference between vaults because not all vaults are the same. Not all curators are the same. And I've had to do a lot of education. That's what it has been. Like they're exploring, I'm educating, and it's going to take them a long time to get to market with some of this stuff. Like they have their own challenges. They have their own constraints. These separate crypto business units within TradFi are not exactly well funded. It's not exactly like a key business for them. They don't want to take risks that disrupt their core business. And it's going to take some time for adoption with them for sure.
Yeah, although I think at some point they are gonna like if they don't do it soon enough, they might lose it to others who will. You know, because like a lot of their existing business, like there's one big pool of money, even if it's enormous. You know what I mean? Like at some point, like if you don't provide a newer service, it doesn't mean that the money is going to stay in your old service if others are going to start providing.
Yeah,
so
that's
something
true.
similar to that nature with the ETFs, I think, back then.
That's a reason why they're trying, like institutions are trying so hard to gatekeep distribution of yield through stablecoins. because that's core business for them. They don't want to lose that. And they know that DeFi rates are obviously very competitive. So
can you elaborate on that? With what you mean? You actually say that they try to regulate it, like, and put all kinds of obstacles against getting a stablecoin yield specifically, because it affects with their current business too much.
that's one of their core businesses. Yeah, they like some of that business model is keeping that yield for themselves, for their own activities, to keep the lights on. And if you're giving all of that yield back to the user, like some of these like low overhead treasury yield distribution businesses through stablecoins in crypto, like they're losing their edge.
Do you think that like going forward, maybe, I don't know, 5-10 years from now, maybe some would argue maybe 3, how big is the institutional sector going to be for a product like Yearn? Like, let's say, for example, I'm imagining that relatively institutional demand is, I would guess it's less than 10% than what you guys actually do. Where do you see that going forward? Do you see it like at some point reaching like the opposite level, that most of what of the that you guys will be managing will actually be driven by institutions?
That's a good question. It depends on what assets we're talking about. I think Yearn definitely fills a gap for a global audience. I don't necessarily think that it's one for people who have access to the US banking system. I don't think that's going to change over the next like 3 or like 10 years. I'm not particularly bullish about institutions coming on chain in permissionless, verifiable ways. When I've talked to them about vault structure and the structure and controls around the products that we build, they're not entirely like satisfied with my answers. I will give you an example. In Yearn vaults, we each vault share price is evaluated by price per share. That is a statistic that we take at each harvest. Every time we recognize profit, price per share goes up. We cannot tamper with the price per share of our vault. It cannot be set by a third party or any external force. It just goes up or it goes down. If it goes down, you immediately know that something bad happened. In a lot of other DeFi vaults on the market, just like Stream Finance, if you remember them, the vault share price is set by any external party, including a multi-sig. So if someone is recognizing a profit, they have to go and set what that profit is. If someone is seeing an APY, they can set what that APY is. If there's bad debt or like a hole or something missing on the back end, they can obscure that from what users are seeing. And this takes away the element of control. And I think this is why some institutions have been hesitant to adopt a model like this, because they have to forfeit some degree of control. And Yearn, we see a lot of value in what we're doing. We think that having a tamper-proof vault, like a real on-chain verifiable vault, will always have an audience of customers. We think that is always going to be the case. People who are skeptical of the banking system, people who are skeptical of having a counterparty that can manipulate things. In our world, the code, the smart contract is the counterparty. It ends there. So that's how we've chosen to go to market. That's something we're not going to ever like move away from. And we're going to see how this all evolves over the next 5 years. It's going to be interesting. I think Sorry? For the layer 1s and layer 2s, honestly, it makes sense for institutions to, like big institutions at least, to build that stuff themselves. Like they're going to capture value from that. They're going to be able to control all of the fees, like that comes from sequencing all these transactions, from like user fees, gas fees. I don't think it makes a lot of sense for them to give that up unless they want to interact with that more like global financial system that Ethereum has built over the past like however many years they've been going, like 10 years.
It's such a good sentence, like a lot of what you've said there, but like the smart contract is the counterparty. It's actually such a good way to put it. And I actually tend to agree with your take the more I see it. Like, yeah, and this is actually true from both sides. Like the customers that institutions represent, they also want that control. You know what I mean? Like you're right. Like for many of us, like we do want that tamper-proof and like complete freedom and tech superiority of the products. But I think that many people no, they don't really want that. They want a guarantee by someone that he is behind it. He will pay it back if something happens. Even though, they can look at history and see that there were cases that promises were made
over and over.
They weren't exactly kept, but still there's like this yearn. I will specifically use this word, like this yearn for like this soft promise of, oh yeah, don't worry, we guarantee we're here, we're behind it with our big like name and fabulous reputation, and we will be there for you at the right moment. But I actually think that at least for people like us, maybe, if I can put us for this one in the same category, yearn actually represent exactly what we yearn. Like something which is immutable, which is just write something which is better, that won't be rugged or manipulated and can't be malicious. Just make something superior and actually objective. So I really admire this approach and what you guys do.
I can say with 100% certainty that there is another stream finance out there. Like, you'll see it happen again. Someone is going to get greedy. They're going to start doing like directional trading on perps or whatever with the funds that are in this vault. And then, it takes one bad day. You've got a loss, you've got a hole, you got to cover that up with other customer deposits. And that's how the ball starts rolling. It is going to keep happening. And I hate to say this even more, but like, especially for institutions who are getting involved in DeFi, like I'm so skeptical about some of this stuff because say you're building a data center, right? And you need to get a loan. You go to Macquarie, you go to US Bank, you go to like any bank and you get a great rate on equipment financing. I did that for 10 years. There's no shortage of people, of banks who are doing equipment financing for data centers. If you can't get financing for that stuff, there's a reason why. And they're coming to crypto to get that money, to get deposits from retail. Like there's something going on there. Like, I just don't believe that whole system. And I'm very skeptical about businesses like that who thrive in TradFi and like don't have a reason to be on crypto rails, but are coming to crypto rails with the same controls that they have in TradFi. Like, it doesn't compute with me. Not at all.
What's your take on some of the new layer 2s that are coming, especially after I'm pretty sure you've seen like the recent post from Vitalik about 2 weeks ago or so. He kind of claims that, okay, guys, like, like I will give you like my version of it, because you should read the source and not mine. But my take after reading it was like, okay, guys, listen, we built these layer 2s, and they were kind of important up until a while ago, when we didn't know exactly if it's going to work. But it looks like Ethereum is kind of scaling, and money is going to, like, most of the value is going to remain on Ethereum. So you guys better find some good purposes, because if it's just going to be scaling, I'm not so sure how needed you will be. What's your take on it, and like the future of the L2s, and some of the maybe rising, like, I don't know, new L1s? Like, how do you see this evolving?
So I think general purpose layer 2s, I'm not, like, we've spent a lot of time trying to work on those chains. Like with Optimism, we were there for a long time, and we just can't get anything going. Like, they have a token print, they give incentives, the incentives are gone, and then, what's really happening there? We spent a lot of time and investment on Katana chain, because they have this renewable, never-ending bucket of incentives that comes from chain-owned liquidity. All of the funds that are bridged onto Katana are actually yield bearing on mainnet. They take all of the yield and bring it to Katana, to the places that make the most sense. So anyone who is actively providing liquidity or participating in Katana has the opportunity to get part of these incentives. And I thought that model is like way beyond the general purpose layer 2 that's out there. This is a like true finance minded chain that wants their goal to be like the deepest liquidity, the highest yield. We found a lot of value in that, and spent a lot of time building there. I think that chain is going to be around for a long time. So there are definitely good ones out there. I think actually Yearn will probably like spin down what we're doing on Optimism. We don't want to have legacy tech just sitting out there for no good reason. It's overhead. It's like stuff that keeps us up at night. So we should probably spin that stuff down. Another chain that we're going to start working on now is called Rise Chain. And that chain is built around a central limit order book. And they have perps there. They have 2 different lending products there. And they're going to be installing Yearn vaults and Yearn curation in a few different ways in that chain. It's just getting started. They're also in a different like region in the world that Yearn hasn't worked with in a long time, like the Oceanic region. So I'm excited about getting that one up and going too. That should be happening within like the next few months.
Yeah, I saw some of your posts about it, and I'm even pretty sure that you said that you're talking to them today. You have some kind of a podcast with them later today.
Yeah. So later tonight, like 9 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. my time, I'll be talking to them publicly for my first time also. Like, I've met Sam and the team, and we've been interacting like for months now, but we're just starting to kick all this stuff off.
It's actually very cool, because like just like you said, like, Yearn is in a position to decide like where they should build and who they should work with. Like, this is not exactly, if you don't see a good reason. The example that you've given with Optimism is very well, like if they don't just like bribe you with OP rewards, or once the rewards is out, why would you keep your money there? Like, someone else will bribe you with something else. Like, it's not that capital sometimes is very sticky, but sometimes it's not. Like, it's not sticky if it's for bribes. It's sticky if it's for I don't know, freedom tech, and you tell me that, okay, yeah, the best immutable, like the best place to protect it from any risks is Ethereum. Then I understand why many people, despite like all kinds of bribes being offered, or like incentives, let's call them, being offered all around the place, No, they prefer keeping their funds on Ethereum because they feel like it's safer. So that I can actually call sticky capital. But on many of on many places, I'm not sure it's going to be sticky at all. Any other places outside of mainnet that you feel are worth mentioning, that you want to describe some products that Yearn maybe has there that you want to share?
So honestly, we love mainnet. We love Ethereum. We've been building on that forever. That's always going to be our home. We're actually going to have more strategies that start in Ethereum, get yield from Ethereum, and branch out to these other places, should there be good, viable opportunities out there. But aside from that, like Katana and Rise Chain, that's our focus. And Ethereum, that's it. 3 spots. We're only 17 people. We can't be everywhere. We have like a complicated product. So don't want to stretch ourselves too thin.
Wise choice, I'd say. Korn, I don't want to keep you. I do, but I'm pretty sure that you have a lot of stuff to do. Time for another one more thing that I want to ask you about.
Yeah.
Within the vaults sector, okay? Yearn is the biggest player in the vault sector.
No, not anymore. I mean, we were when we had $7 billion of TVL in 2021, but that was a long time ago. There are other vaults who have higher TVL for sure right now.
Let's just see where it all goes. I'm very curious to see some of the upcoming products. Any other updates that you can share with us about something coming other than Rise and Katana? Anything that people should expect? And by the way, for people who want to actually get involved with Yearn, maybe some talented devs who are looking from the sides and asking themselves how can they become a part, or people with different skills, what should they do in order to really try to come on board?
The best way to get our attention, I always say that we're always hiring, because if you are a talented developer who can build Yearn strategies, we will seriously consider hiring you. The past 2 developers that we hired, I'll take Johnny, for instance. The guy came to us and built a bunch of Yearn strategies, and we were very impressed. And we gave him a bunch of bounties to work overtime with us, and then hired him full time. The same thing happened with Schlag, who actually went on to go and write Yearn v3. He came to us and just looked at the Yearn stack, started building strategies, and we were extremely impressed. So that is the path. There's no training program. I know Y Academy and Y Audit, we have a training program for that where we onboard people, we give them a test, we have them do the 1-month training, and then we hire them on. Yearn is a lot different. We don't have that program. And that's the best way to do it, by being a doer.
Nicely said. Exactly the way. With Johnny's case, I've actually witnessed it from the side, and what can I say? I think that you guys have made a very good move there.
Johnny can't stop doing.
Yeah, it's more of an addiction, or something like that. He's really... He's just not calm unless he's coding something, so much to the fact that he's even started streaming it. And by the way, shout out to Flex, the new upcoming lending market by...
Should I explain what that is?
So, no? Sorry?
Do you want me to explain what that is?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so Flex is a new primitive. We have been on the hunt for what is the next Uniswap? What is the next very simple code base that doesn't need any human intervention, that can operate on its own forever? So Johnny had been doing a lot of work on the Liquidity v2 code base, because we made a bunch of yield-bearing vaults on that stable model, and we took the interest rate model from that and we made this lending primitive where the borrower sets their rate. Like, you want a 3% fixed rate, the borrower says, this is what I want. If there's capital available from the lenders, it will automatically be lent to that borrower. And if the lender doesn't like it, they can always redeem for the borrower's collateral at all time. The whole reason why we think this makes sense is because in traditional lending platforms, if you're looping, or even if you're just depositing, there has to be a withdrawal buffer. So there's always going to be like 20% of that money set aside that's not going to be doing anything. In Flex, because you can always redeem for the borrower's collateral, you can have 100% utilization. If you're looping, you can have a better loop on Flex. So we think that this model could be viable. We want to see what the market says about it. We don't think that it's going to be great for people who don't want to lose their collateral. Like, there are obviously times when you don't want to give up your collateral, but there are also times when you're like long one token and short another, and it doesn't really matter if you get redeemed, because you're both, like, say if you have an ETH-based asset, if you're redeeming one ETH-based asset for another one, it doesn't really matter that much. So we think that for looping, this is going to be a really good product, a really good primitive out there. It's being audited right now, and it's going to be released pretty soon, like maybe within like a month or so. So we'll see that in the market, and we'll see what happens.
I'm very excited about it. I think you describe it amazingly well. Not a surprise there as well. And actually, I'm very curious, both on the personal level, because I really want to see Johnny succeed, and I think he's one of the most talented people that I am in any kind of contact or familiarity with. And I think that you guys choosing to actually be interested in that angle, for me as well, is also a very strong validation. Just an example, I think that if you go to Yearn's X account, you guys have 200,000 followers, 210, 209, 208, I'm not sure exactly. And you follow three entities. Flex is one of them, ever since a while ago. So it's actually very, it's just cool. It's just cool. I'm looking forward. Korn, thank you so much for your time. I would want to ask you 20 million other questions, but I'm pretty sure that you have a whole lot of stuff to do. And check out his space tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, with Rise Chain. Yearn is there. Go follow Yearn, Korn, OMG Korn on X. And again, shout out Oak Research. Thank you so much for choosing Leviathan News for your publication. Let me just pop that on the screen again. The year of change. Here it is. Just a second. Much respects. Another SQUID Pass will be coming up pretty soon, folks. Right now, if you want to bid, you should wait a bit, but we will upload it either today or in the next few days. Oak Research, crypto in 2026, the year of change. Thank you guys for choosing Leviathan News. Korn, thank you so much for coming on, and talk to you soon, hopefully, man.
Yeah, thank you. See you later.
So bye.
Bye.
Shū のメディアはもう終わりだ。
真相から